Russian-occupied part of Kherson region. Russians are patrolling and getting into every house, allegedly to explain the procedure of voting in the pseudo-elections. Occupiers are going round the homes of civilians accompanied by armed military personnel. To simulate support for Putin, Moscow has sent specially trained detachments to captured Ukrainian territories. They must report on their readiness for the pseudo-vote by March 10, 2024.
A fresh Moscow methodology suggests that it is possible to take part in illegal elections in the captured territories with both a Russian and Ukrainian passport, ID card, or other identity document. This decision demonstrates the failure of forced passportization in the occupied territories of Ukraine and is also another tool of the Russian security services to identify unreliable Ukrainians to carry out repressions. From the message of the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry on Telegram.
The so-called local elections organized by the Russian occupiers in September 2023 were massively sabotaged by Ukrainians. They did not open their doors and didn't come to the polling stations. So now the Russians are recording who lives at what address.
The so-called members of the Russian election commissions are currently patrolling and visiting homes. They are collecting information and campaigning for participation in the Russian presidential election. They make illegal audio or video recordings of conversations. Under the recording, they ask residents whether they will vote and whether they know when the elections are. From the publication on the website of the Center for National Resistance.
Russians are tightening information and psychological pressure on Ukrainians living under occupation. The main directorate of the Ukrainian intelligence service has said Russian television is being installed in flats and houses, and companies are switching to their own software and communication services. At the same time, they're expanding the network of Russian mobile phone coverage in the occupied Ukrainian territories.
In order to block the channels of access to information about the real situation on the front in Ukraine and in the world, residents of the occupied communities in the Kherson region are being massively connected to Russian satellite television called Russian World. Currently, the Russians have already installed more than 18,000 relevant devices. From the message of the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine on Telegram.
Under conditions of Russian occupation, repression and ethnic cleaning, it is deadly dangerous to actively resist. But Ukrainian partisans and underground fighters continue to record the movement of Russian military equipment, correct the fire of the armed forces of Ukraine, commit sabotage, eliminate evaders, and distribute leaflets. For example, activists of the Yellow Ribbon movement distributed patriotic postcards and stickers dedicated to the Russian pseudo-election. They explicitly say that Putin is a war criminal and that he belongs not on the ballot, but in the Hague. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Valeria Nikopelova, UATV News.